Well, good morning from Stirling Bus Station. Today I'm taking a trip with Midland Bluebird from Stirling up to Glasgow. So I don't know if it's going to be a bus or a coach, single decker or double decker. Indeed, at this point, I don't even know how much the fare is going to cost. But let's find out. Why don't you come along? So let's take a look around the waiting area at Stirling Bus Station. The first thing that I noticed and was very pleased about was that it was nice and warm. There's nothing worse than a cold bus station. Plenty of seats. There was a ticket office which hadn't opened by the time we were there, just before 8 o'clock. Toilets, there's a cafe which again wasn't open when we were there, and lots of information giving you bus and train departure times. So we are at stance number 11, and here's our bus. It's a Mercedes Citaro, and you'll notice that it is not Midland Bluebird liveried but McGill's. They're all part of the same company. I'm not really sure how that works. So after a very pleasant chat with our bus driver, we are away. So let's talk about our route today. We're going to travel along the A811 west out of Stirling. We'll make a couple of departures from the A811 into the villages of Gargunnock and Kippen. Then we're going to join the A875 through Balfron and Killearn, and then on to the A81 through Milngavie and into Glasgow. This journey will take just shy of 2 hours. There is a more direct service that's operated between Stirling and Glasgow by Midland Bluebird or McGill's. That's the X36 Swift service. It takes about 1 hour 20 minutes. But we're on the scenic route today. That's always much more fun, and we're soon winding our way through Stirling. Stirling is a historic place. We've got monuments there to Robert Burns and Rob Roy McGregor, and as we leave the city we get a glance of Stirling Castle, which was first mentioned around the year 1110. You can also spot what's called the King's Knot, that earthwork. This was laid out in the King's Park in anticipation of Charles I coming back to Scotland. There's been a King's Park on that site since 1190. So this is also Wallace country, and sometimes if you're lucky you can hear the famous Wallace battle cry. More cheese, Gromit. Right, enough of such silliness. We are leaving Stirling and we are heading over the M90 motorway, and we're soon arriving at the first village of Gargunnock, which is a very pretty little village indeed. So we leave Gargunnock behind, then we're back out onto the A811 for a little while before we turn off again and we head to the village of Kippen. And you know, on these narrow roads, you wouldn't want to meet a double decker coming the other way. But that's just testament to the skill and professionalism of these drivers. But I tell you something, rather them than me. So as we join the A875, let's take a little look around the bus. So it's laid out in a 2-2 configuration mainly, but I do like this set of 4 seats. I suppose that's useful for family. And as for the seat itself, pretty good. Yeah, couldn't really fault it. It was comfy enough, plenty of leg room, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that there was a 3-pin plug socket and also a USB charging port. I wasn't expecting that, and it's a nice touch. Balfron is another picturesque little village. The name means cottage of mourning in Gaelic. This originates from a legend that the village was attacked by wolves, which stole children out of their homes. Also, there was Wi-Fi on the bus, but it didn't work. And next we pull into the village of Killearn. We stop here for a minute or two. There's a few people get on the bus, and it was in Killearn that it really hit home to me why I love travelling, seeing new places and just hopping on a bus sometimes. In Killearn there is an obelisk which was erected in the year 1788 to commemorate an individual from the village of Killearn called George Buchanan. This is a person I had never heard of. He was born in 1506 and died in 1582, and 206 years later the people of Killearn wanted to memorialise him. He was a humanist, an educator, a scholar, a historian, a poet. He lived half a millennium ago, and there's an obelisk, a monument to his memory. Isn't that just the thing about travelling? Seeing things off the beaten track. I'd never heard of this guy, but when I got home, I was Googling him and found out all about what he did, and I think that's just all part of the fun of travelling. Anyway, look out for the obelisk in the next couple of seconds. And since you've got this far in the video, I thought I would just throw in another little reminder to consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help. So let's talk money. We asked the driver for 2 singles to Glasgow, and he hummed and hawed a bit and said, look, actually I think what's going to be cheaper for you is to purchase a McGill's All Zones ticket. So that came in at £9.25 each, which I think is really good value for money. I also think it says so much for McGill's that rather than their drivers just dishing out a more expensive ticket, the driver actually went out of his way to find the cheapest ticket for us. And obviously that was only one McGill's driver, but he was brilliant, so helpful, so friendly. In fact, he even apologised that the bus journey took so long. We explained we were happy to have the scenic route, that's why we were doing it. But isn't it nice just when employees just are happy to be at their work, or certainly appear to be happy at their work, and go out of their way to help the customers. Well done, McGill's. And so we're nearing the end of our bus journey from Stirling to Glasgow. As you can see, it's starting to get a little bit more built up. We had one more stop at Mulgai at the railway station, and then it's a straight run into Glasgow.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Cheers. See you now.
Sorry about the lengthy time it took.
Not at all.
Aye,
That's
aye.
great. So here we are at Glasgow Buchanan Street, and that was the scenic route. It was great fun. Very helpful bus driver, which is always really pleasant, and all in all, yeah, couldn't fault it. So thanks for watching. The question is, would you like to see more bus journeys from around Scotland? I really enjoyed that. Some of the prettiest scenery, most beautiful little villages I've seen in Scotland, so I'm up for doing more. Would you like to see them? Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye bye.